Hello and welcome to the Lordly Verdict. It's been a while, but I'm back. It's good to see you guys again. I've really missed you. Today, I will be reviewing a movie I recently saw known as nothing less than Spectre, the new James Bond film. Why am I reviewing this film? God, was it bad! Just, oh God. It was terrible. I mean, it wasn't Twilight terrible, but it was one of the weakest James Bond movies I've seen. And, well, this review will have spoilers due to necessity, but God, was it bad. See, the plot is simple. James Bond is looking for a mysterious new bad guy. He goes to Rome where the bad guy's meeting, sees the guy, gets in a pickle, goes and finds an old enemy, gets information on where to go, gets on where finds the enemy's beautiful daughter, goes to date her, and finds the enemy base is in stuff. Goes on a train ride, heads to the enemy base, fights the enemy, leaves, and does a cool thing in the third act, which they had incredible trouble writing. No, seriously, if you look at information, they're clear. Writing the third act was hell. They went through multiple iterations. They just had a lot of trouble writing it, and it shows. Now, the first thing to bring up is there's no real good character moments for Bond that I can see other than, are you willing to ever give this up? I don't know. I've never thought of it. Which actually falls flat. No, seriously, it just falls completely flat because it's bull. Bond was, in fact, given a chance to give it up on this in the previous movie, and, well, he ended up going back in. It's not a matter of him never having a choice, or that being any real thing. And it isn't well followed up on. So that's the big character moment, other than the enemy being big time in his backstory, and that's nothing big for Bond, it's big for the enemy. And, well, honestly, the problem starts when Bond is in Rome trying to find out where to go next. And, wait, no, he does have one good scene talking with the old bad guy, Mr. White, and that's a good scene. Craig nails it out of the park, and it gives Bond some nice little depth and honor to it. He negotiates with an old enemy to get crucial information and actually reveals he does have some honor and such. And it shows that Bond hasn't completely lost himself because he really wants to protect an innocent. In fact, there's two good scenes in this where he goes to great lengths to help an innocent, which is important because it pulls him back from his Quantum of Solace and his Casino Royale darkness. Though to a lesser extent they did that a bit in the previous film. Hold on. There. The lights were in the way. They were annoying. There, now I'm blocking the other light. Now, the big deal is the fight scenes. There's only there's two good fight scenes in the entire 2-hour movie. For a Bond scene, that's terrible. I mean, okay, the opening starts with an in-depth, big fight scene where Bond just gets in a knock-down, drag-out fight with a guy, hanging off a helicopter, cool stunts. That's awesome. It's great. The rest of the fight scenes for the good hour suck. They're just terrible. I mean, okay. Let's see. It all starts in Rome when he escapes from the bad guy's film. After that, the film's tight. You're trying to figure out how to go to. The bad guy's nice. Mr. Bond, I know you're here. Get them, my minions! Destroy him! Bond flees. One bad guy follows him. The enemy's main henchman. And they have the worst car chase that I have seen in my entire life. It essentially just consists of, is he still behind me? Shit. Is he still behind me? Shit. Is he still behind me? Shit. Turns. Shit. Yeah, I know I don't normally curse, but that's really the only way to describe the way Bond thinks. Like, is he still behind me? Shit. Is he still behind me? Shit. And this goes on for like 10 minutes. They actually pause it to take a break and, Moneypenny, can you look something up? Yeah, I'm being followed. The guy just won't stop tailing me. This car doesn't have anything. Crap. It eventually only ends when Bond ejects from the car and goes, ah! Parachutes off and leaves, and the guy goes, well, crap, can't follow him. And he sinks the car into the ocean because, well, Bond likes destroying expensive cars. Yeah, my dad actually paused at a moment to say, man, that was a shame. You know, he's right, because Bond had no reason to destroy the car. He could have accomplished the same effect by stopping and ejecting, because maybe he was trying to convince the guy he was dead, but it was pretty gratuitous. I mean, if I was the guy against him, it'd be... So he just ran off into the ditch. Dredges the car. Nope, no body. He's still alive. Plus, guy would have probably seen the parachute since he was 5 inches from Bond's tail. There were 2 good scenes in the entire film. No, not the entire film, the entire chase. 1, Bond gets stuck behind a Prius. Which is... It's funny, but it's not necessarily tense. It's like, shoot. So he just rams into the Prius and pushes it into a parking space, goes on to his chase. Pretty funny, but highly improbable. See, I'm going to bring up something from Aristotle. People will believe the impossible over the improbable. For instance, you can get someone to believe that a man comes from an alien planet and in the midst of a yellow sun, he can suddenly fly, shoot laser beams from his eye, and turn back time by flying around the Earth. But you will not get him to believe that it just so happens his greatest enemy comes from his same hometown. People are weird that way. For instance, you can get people to believe in the Greek gods, but you can't get them to believe that it just so happens that the guy who a guy met on the road was the king. It's weird like that. You can get someone to believe that there's a satellite that when it comes into Earth orbit will shoot down a beam that can destroy an entire village. But you can't get someone to believe that it just so happens his ancient villain is his brother. People are weird like that, and that's the issue. The movie includes so many improbable elements that it calls attention to them. Like, yeah, that's the big reveal. The big bad guy is, besides the fact that he's actually Ernst Blofeld, Bond's greatest enemy ever, essentially his Lex Luthor, it just so happens the guy is Bond's foster brother. And his whole motive is that he hates Bond because Daddy loved him more. I'm not kidding. That is his entire motive for his villainy. He even calls Bond a cuckoo, because a cuckoo pushes all the other eggs off the nest. This is not a compelling villain thing. It's much like Lex Luthor's original motive. Superman made me bald! It's really stupid. Now, let's get to the Rome thing. After Rome, the movie continues and Bond meets the girl, chases the clues. Not a lot really happens. It's just a lot of him chasing clues. I mean, there's one big money scene where he flies a plane to intercept the bad guys, which is a really cool looking scene, but it lacks tension. Bond isn't really in danger in this scene. It's just, okay, how am I going to get these guys to stop? I mean, even when the Pain gets his wings sheared off and all, he's still in control. He never really confronts the bad guys for a punch-up. And when he does stop them, it's he rams their car, pulls the girl out, and runs. None of the minions get out. No gunplay. That's it. And even when Q gets with the bad guys, it's a tit scene, but he gets out by makes a distraction and runs out the window. Bad guys can't follow him because there's stuff in it. All the scenes work like that. They just lack that tension, that fire. They lack the real sense of a money shot. Let's punch it up. Let's get personal. All of them lack that. And after that, he finds out that the villain's base is by going to this place called the American, which is a hotel. Finds a secret thing in the hotel that says, the villain's base is in MacGuffinia. So he goes to MacGuffinia by train. That's the one good fight scene. I mean, it's a really good fight scene. Bond gets in there. Bad guy comes in. They just get in close, punch it up, and this is tense. This is powerful. It's like, okay, this is cool. It's like, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, the camera can't pick up, but he picks it up and goes, roof, throws it out the window. He just keeps throwing stuff at the guy. The guy gets shot in the back, but blows it off, and that's awesome. Bond only beats the guy by grabbing him and rubbing, goes, whoop, knocks it out of the train. Which is really cool. The only problem is this means the main bad guy doesn't have a henchman anymore, and they're not even halfway through the film. This is only the second act. So what happens is after that, well, Bond walks into the enemy's base. This is the point where you can tell the writers just gave up. Bond literally walks into the enemy's base and says, hello, I'm James Bond. Ah, excellent. We've been expecting you. Mr. Blofeld is right this way. Yeah. I actually called it out in the thing. Yeah, that's dumb of him. What was his plan? I mean, he's trying to kill the guy and he just walks into the base. Yeah. It is the dumbest thing in history that Bond has done. Yeah, just that's it. This is where you get to the improbable element. This is the height of improbability. Bond walks into the base dead to rights, and the enemy doesn't shoot him from 50 meters away. No, he takes him and explains, I am secretly Bond's foster brother. Yes, I have this magnificent evil plan, but it means nothing compared to the fact that I am Bond's foster brother, and Daddy loved him more. So I murdered my own father, faked my death, and I've been looking for Bond this whole time so I can make him suffer. Yes, and by the way, now that I've gotten this out of the way, I just want to bring up, I have 50 men pointing guns at you, you dumbass. Man, knock him unconscious. So he gets Bond unconscious and puts him in a death trap. Bond escapes the death trap. Now, he's in the middle of the enemy's base. The enemy has all his guys pointing guns at him and such, but Bond makes one explosion, rushes out, shoots two guys, blows a gas main and gets out. 5 minutes. 5 minutes of gunplay, maybe less. It might have been just a minute of gunplay, and he's out of the enemy's base, and the enemy's blown up in the explosion. It's like, dude, that was the climax of your movie. You're really hard pressed to follow up from that. Dude, that was terribly written. Now, I repeat, the battle essentially consists of once he gets out of the death trap, He just grabs a gun from a guy and shoots everyone on the way. There's only like 2 guys guarding the door, and every so often the guys come up by 2. It's like, for a moment, it turned into Halo. Just, you see Bond with a really heavy gun, pew pew, cover, pew pew, runs off. That's it. It's just, that's the climax, and it's just really improbable. It's really weak. Once he gets out of the chair, there's no tension. I mean, Blofeld is presumed dead. Of course he's not. He's a Bond villain. He's Blofeld. You can't kill the guy. The only reason they killed the guy was they lost the rights to him. Like, so yeah, turns out Bond gets back home and does some other stuff. Reveals, okay, the bad guy has a secondary minion, so M, you handle the secondary minion. I mean, seriously, sure enough, M handles the guy in a 5-second fight scene. It just consists, first, the bad guy says, "You fool, I have a gun!" M reveals, I went into your office and emptied out your ammo. Yeah, the same trick Bond did with his first kill. The guy gets free for a half-second, and they have a, he's like, I'll have the gun! Push! That is the actual fight scene. Guy pulls a gun, M grabs it, points it up, they fire off a shot, he pushes the guy, and the guy falls off a cliff. That's how they handle one of the big bads. Bond, meanwhile, gets distracted because he left the girl in a safe house. She then left the safe house, and she wasn't a minute down the road before she got captured. Blofeld has another elaborate death trap, which involves Bond having to climb a tower in 3 minutes while an explosion goes 10, 9, and then find the girl, which he does with minutes to spare. Then he sees at the bottom of the tower, which the villain has gone to a length of setting up a death trap, the villain left what is it? Wave Rider, a motorcycle you use on the water. I don't remember the name. I don't know what these things are called. Speeder, I don't know. Water speeder, I don't know. But one of those, they go, he left one of those, and next to it is, I kid you not, a safety net. So Bond leaps down into the safety net, lands in it, flies off, and Bond's like, there is no way he could have escaped the trap. He then takes his pistol and shoots down the enemy's helicopter by hitting its fuel tank again. I kid you not, again, hits the fuel tank. Enemy lands, he takes the enemy in. That's the finale. Okay, do I have to go over the problems with this? 1. After escaping the death trap, Bond is able to escape the enemy's base with no tension, and in Act 2, he's essentially defeated the bad guy. After you blow up the entire enemy's base by shooting one gas main, there's no tension anymore. And it's, again, a badly written scene. He escapes far too easily, and the enemy doesn't have anyone left to threaten him with. Secondly, an elaborate death trap that is escaped by a conveniently placed safety net. That's just stupid. And he never actually has a fight with Blofeld. And he shoots the helicopter down with a pistol. Yeah, that's just BS. And the enemy's motive is, Daddy loved you more. Of all the villain motives, that is probably one of the second stupidest one that I have thought of. I mean, there's not even anything to it. We don't get any evidence that Daddy loved him more. We just get the villain's testimony, Daddy loved you more! Bond just looks at him, are you high? I can think of a couple ways to make that compelling right now. One, two off the top of my head just now. One, you have the guy, it be revealed, the guy was wrong. Bond just says to them, dude, he left you blah 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 in the will. I have here evidence that he loved you more. The villain has to go, this cannot be! You're lying! Complete utter breakdown, because you've destroyed his entire philosophy. The villain spends a disproportionate amount of time just, Bond, I will destroy you by hurting your girls. And I mean, not even shooting them in front of your face. It's, I will do some ridiculously over elaborate thing. Yes, in fact, I was the one who killed Vesper Lynn, your one true love. I was the one who told Silva how to kill him. Dude, just shoot him in the head. I mean, I know you can't shoot Bond in the head, but Silva actually handled it better in the previous movie. He wanted to hurt Bond by liking a girl. So you like this girl, right? Well, let's play a game. You will have to shoot an apple off her head. By the way, I know that when you were last injured, your gun arm was hurt, so you can't aim worth shit. Bond looks, hands trembling, and boom! He misses her by a mile. Villain looks at her, pecks her straight in the heart. Whoops! I missed! Throws it away. And Bond doesn't go crazy about this because his growth in Casino Royale was learning people close to him will die. It's the price of being a spy. So yeah, and that's it. Let's see. Like, and the train thing, well, it was a really good fight scene. While I was watching it, I actually came up with a way that would have made it a lot more compelling. Have Bond lose. Have Bond just straight out get beaten by the guy. Throw everything at him, he fails, and the last thing he sees as he blacks out is the guy backhands the girl, knocks her out, and you see the guy grab him Bond by the neck and squeeze. Everything goes dark. Bond wakes up in the villain base. Has no idea why he's alive. Villain pulls the same, Bond, you really think it would be that easy? I want you to suffer. Bond pulls the same thing. Secondly, this also allows, as Bond gets out of the base, villain's minion can meet him and knock down, drag out, fight Mark 2. This way the villain still has cred, and you get to have more tension. Ultimately, make the base escape harder. Have Bond have to hide underground or something. Something to make it clear. Have Bond barely get out alive. Not to mention there was a serious plot hole. Okay, the B plot for the entire film is that this guy called C has taken over MI5 and MI6, and turns out he's working with Blofeld. He's the guy M fights in the climax and kills. At no point do they ever prove C is crooked. Seriously. So, I just have the mental image of thinking, so, your new boss C, he's dead. He's in fact lying right there on the floor. Why did you kill him? Long pause. What proof do you have that he was crooked? None whatsoever? I would like you to talk to this little tribunal on how you are idiots! You cannot kill someone without any proof when he's a government agent. What's next? You're going to shoot the Queen of England and say she was a werewolf? Why are you getting those silver bullets? Seriously. It's just badly done. I mean, Sherlock did it better. Sherlock shoots a guy in cold blood, and immediately everyone converges on him to strangle him to death. He only gets out because Moriarty comes back. I'm honestly of the opinion that Moriarty didn't actually come back. He just set up a plan. If Sherlock is ever arrested, I want you to play this recording of me saying, "I'm still alive. Ha ha!" Because I do not want him to get off so easily. I want him to owe his life to me. So yes, for Spectre, I am ranking it a 2 out of 5. If you're a huge Bond fan, watch it. And I will say this. It brings back Spectre and it brings back Blofeld. If this movie in any way, shape, or form made a profit, some better writer can get along and fix it. Because this thing had 8 writers for the finale alone, including Daniel Craig. It was a badly done movie. But honestly, it could have been great, and that was my review. Now, I've actually got a plan recently to do a special Lordly Verdict on politics. Because, well, it's that time of the year, and I just don't like the way some politics are going. It's the kind of thing that you need a rational, cool mind to look over and point out what's true and what's just blatant lies. And considering I've been looking on the site Rational Wiki and other things, though I confess I disagree with them on some key details, well, I hope that I can look at it with a reviewer's mindset and a critical analysis. So yes, I'm going to critically analyze politicians. First thing I'm going to do is which party I'm voting for. I'll see you soon. Also, I'm going to still review games because I love that. Bye.